Near the riverbank in Tsavo National Park, just as the first light of dawn paints the sky a soft orange, a cry breaks the stillness of the morning. The sound is faint at first, distant yet unmistakable. An elephant calf, small and fragile, stands alone beside the road, its body trembling. Its legs are thin, almost too weak to support its weight. The calf's cries are soft but desperate, and it sways slightly, unsure of what to do next. Yusuf, one of the rangers stationed in the park, hears the call and immediately signals for his team to approach. The group move cautiously, their steps muted on the dusty ground. The calf remains where it is, looking up, its wide eyes filled with confusion and fear. It lets out another weak cry, this time louder, as though seeking something it cannot find. "Stay back," Yusuf whispers to the others, his voice calm but urgent. They stop several meters away, giving the calf the space it needs. The sun continues to rise, casting a soft light over the clearing, yet the small elephant seems more out of place than ever. There are no other elephants nearby, no familiar sounds of the herd, and no comforting presence of the matriarch. The calf's body language speaks volumes. It is exhausted, its head hanging low, its small frame shaking. It takes a step, then another, but its movements are slow and uncertain. The rangers remain still, observing, allowing the calf to make the next move. Yusuf looks toward the horizon, scanning for any sign of the herd. There is no immediate sign of them, no movement, no distant trumpets. The calf is alone. The wind shifts, and the soft rustling of the trees fills the air. Yusuf knows that time is critical. If the calf tries to cross the road alone, it risks further injury. If it runs, it may not survive. The calf takes another hesitant step, its legs giving way beneath it. It stumbles and falls, hitting the ground with a soft thud. There is a moment of stillness, a brief pause where the world seems to hold its breath. The calf lies motionless for a few seconds before it raises its head again, its eyes searching for something, anything. Yusuf feels a tightness in his chest. He knows the situation is delicate. The calf is too weak to stand for long, and it could easily fall prey to predators if it remains here alone. But approaching too soon might startle it, and in its fragile state the calf could panic, worsening its condition. "We have to wait," Yusuf murmurs, his voice barely audible. The team are motionless, their eyes fixed on the calf. The park feels quieter now, as if even the wind is holding back. The calf tries again, pushing itself up with more effort than before. This time, it rises to its feet, its legs trembling. It pauses for a moment, as though gathering its strength. Then, it takes a few wobbly steps forward, its body swaying unsteadily. The rangers stay in place, watching but not moving. There is no hurry. The calf must come to them, not the other way around. The road ahead is wide, a stretch of dusty earth that leads deeper into the park. Yusuf knows that the calf cannot remain here much longer, not without the safety of the herd. Yet, as the calf stumbles toward the edge of the road, its movement slower now, there is no sign of them. The calf is truly alone. The air is thick with tension, the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone. If the calf makes it across, it will have a chance. If it doesn't, it may never see the herd again. The stakes are clear, though silent. A distant rustling in the bushes catches Yusuf's attention. It's faint, but unmistakable. Something is moving through the brush, approaching the road from the other side. Yusuf's heart quickens. It's not the herd, not it. Bedomething is coming. Something that might help. The morning passes quietly as Yusuf and his team watch the calf struggle to stand. Despite the close distance to the herd, the air remains heavy with uncertainty. The calf, still wobbling on unsteady legs, stands at the edge of the road, its small frame a sharp contrast to the vast openness around it. The world seems to hold its breath. The herd, led by the matriarch, is somewhere nearby. Yusuf can feel it. The soft whispers of the wind carry a distant rumble. the sound of large feet moving through the brush, the rustle of branches as the herd makes its way toward the clearing. But they stop short. They hesitate, as if uncertain of what comes next. The matriarch, always the first to act, stands still among the trees, listening. She raises her trunk to catch the scent of the air, her ears flicking back and forth. The calf's calls grow more frequent, a soft yet urgent sound that echoes across the wide expanse of Tsavo. It is the sound of desperation, but also one of faint hope. The calf, alone and tired, seems to be waiting for something, some sign that it is not entirely abandoned. The rangers, standing in place, do not approach. They understand the delicate balance of nature. Their presence alone is enough to shift the dynamic, to make the calf more uncertain, more fearful. Yusuf watches carefully. He knows the risks. If the herd moves too quickly, they may not give the calf the time it needs. If they approach without caution, the calf could bolt, running straight into danger. The stakes are clear, though quiet. Every moment, every step, could mean life or death for the young elephant. The matriarch holds her ground, her massive body blocking the path for the rest of the herd. Her movements are deliberate, not rushed. There is a stillness to her that is felt across the entire group. She waits, as though gathering the strength of the herd before leading them forward. The young elephants follow closely behind, their movements cautious but eager. Yet the matriarch does not signal them to move. Yusuf observes their behavior, his gaze shifting between the calf and the distant herd. The hesitation in the matriarch's actions is understandable. She is aware of the calf's condition and aware of the potential dangers the road presents. A crossing like this is never done hastily. It requires care, balance, and trust. The herd, though large, must move together, every individual staying within reach of one another. Minutes stretch into what feels like hours. The calf, still standing, takes a few hesitant steps toward the road, its legs trembling. It looks back toward the herd, its wide eyes scanning the distance. The herd, watching from the other side, is still. The tension in the air thickens, and yet no one moves. There is no rushing, no immediate decision to be made. The matriarch holds them back, a quiet protector, ensuring that every move counts. The calf's cries continue, but now they are more rhythmic, more measured. It's not so much a cry of fear anymore, but a sound of recognition, a flicker of understanding that the herd is near, even if they are not yet close enough. The matriarch, still at the front of the herd, lowers her head slightly, her trunk swaying with the gentle breeze. She seems to be assessing the situation, feeling the air, and reading the signs. The waiting grows longer, and Yusuf feels the weight of it. There are no promises in the wild, no guarantees. If the herd does not move soon, the calf may lose its chance to rejoin them. If they do not cross carefully, there may be risks they are not yet aware of. But still, the herd remains still. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the matriarch lifts her trunk, her decision made. She takes a step forward, followed by the others in a steady, deliberate rhythm. The hesitation has ended. The herd begins to move. They are slow at first, but with each step their confidence grows, and the distance between the calf and the herd begins to shrink. The matriarch leads them across the road, her movements calm but purposeful. Yusuf breathes a quiet sigh of relief, though his watch is far from over. The calf, now standing more firmly on its legs, takes its first steps toward the herd. The rangers remain silent, standing still as the moment unfolds. The calf's journey is far from over, but this moment, the moment the herd begins to cross, feels like a turning point. The risk is still there, but the chance for survival has grown. The road no longer feels like an obstacle, but a path toward safety. The herd, now moving together, continues across the road, a collective presence that shields the calf from the danger that lie ahead. The matriarch watches, her movement steady and sure, as the rest of the herd follows the lead. The rangers step back further, giving them the space they need, allowing the herd to cross without interruption. The soft calls of the calf grow quieter as it draws closer to the matriarch, and the herd, now reunited, continues its journey deeper into the park, the road behind them fading into the distance. The calf rises slowly, its legs shaking with the weight of its own body. For a moment it stands there, trembling slightly, as though deciding whether it has the strength to continue. The herd is near now, only a few hundred meters away, but the calf is unsure. Its small body wavers, and its eyes, wide with uncertainty, glance at the herd, then back to the road. There is a flicker of hesitation in its movements, and it takes a cautious step forward, but its legs give way. It stumbles and falls again, the dust rising softly from the ground beneath its weight. Yusuf feels the shift in the air, the stillness that settles over the scene. The calf lies on the ground for a moment, as though gathering its strength. The herd, now visible just beyond the brush, pauses. The matriarch stops, her enormous head turning toward the calf. She doesn't move forward, but she doesn't retreat either. She watches. Her gaze is steady, as if assessing the situation. The rest of the herd, too, holds its ground. The young elephants, normally more restless, stand still, waiting for a signal from the matriarch. It is clear that the herd knows the stakes. The calf is in distress, and moving forward without it would risk breaking the family bond. The matriarch's decision is simple but heavy. She waits. The herd waits. There is no urgency in their stance, but there is quiet understanding. The young calf must rise on its own terms, under the protection of its family, or it risks being lost. The calf tries again, lifting its head slowly, pushing against the earth beneath it. Its legs quiver, trembling with the effort, but it does not collapse this time. The calf takes another tentative step, its movements more steady now but still unsure. Its eyes scan the horizon, searching for the familiar shapes of the herd. It looks back, almost as if asking for permission, its small body barely able to carry the weight of the moment. The matriarch steps forward, the first to break the silence. Her massive feet move gracefully, each step purposeful but still cautious. She does not hurry, but she closes the distance between herself and the calf. The rest of the herd follow suit, their presence growing stronger as they make their way toward the road. The calf, sensing the movement, takes another step, then another, each one slightly more confident than the last. The rangers stand still, watching the scene unfold. They know the risks. If the calf falters, it may not have the strength to continue. If it tries to run before it's ready, it could collapse. But there is a gentle trust in the air now, an unspoken understanding between the herd and the calf. They will move forward together, or not at all. The matriarch reaches the calf, her presence undeniable. She lowers her trunk gently toward the calf's side, nudging it with a soft, reassuring touch. The calf responds by lifting its head and stepping closer, its movements more assured now. The matriarch continues to guide it forward, her movements deliberate and steady. She doesn't rush. She is the leader, and the pace she sets is calm and measured. The rest of the herd moving behind, their steps synchronized. The young elephants follow, pressing close to the calf, offering the comfort of their presence. The road that once seemed like an insurmountable barrier is now a path the calf is walking on its own feet, guided by the unspoken care of the herd. The distance between them and safety seems shorter now, not because they are closer in miles, but because they are closer in spirit. As the matriarch moves forward, she looks back for a moment, making sure the calf is still following. There is no urgency in her gaze. Only the quiet assurance that she has done what was needed. The calf, now walking steadily beside her, takes its place within the herd, no longer stumbling, no longer uncertain. Yusuf watches the herd as they move past him, each elephant in its own place, yet part of the whole. The journey is not over, but this moment, this quiet crossing, feels like a turning point. The calf has made it, and the herd has kept its promise. The road, once a line of separation, now feels like a shared experience, a journey completed together. The herd move into the distance, their figures slowly disappearing behind the trees. The calf, now steady on its feet, walks confidently, its place secured in the heart of the family. The rangers, watching from the edge of the road, step back, allowing the herd to continue on their way. The air feels lighter now, the weight of the moment lifting with each step they take. The sound of their movement fades into the distance, but the quiet bond remains. A bond of trust, of patience, and of the quiet strength that comes when family moves as one. The herd moves steadily across the road, each step calculated and deliberate. The matriarch leads them, her large body a steady presence in the calm morning light. The young elephants follow closely behind, their eyes alert yet trusting. The calf, now steady on its feet, moves in time with the others, the gap between it and the rest of the herd narrowing with each step. The matriarch, ever watchful, continues to guide it forward. Her trunk brushes against the calf's side with a gentle nudge, a subtle reassurance that the calf is not alone, that it is part of something much bigger than itself. There is no rush in their movements. The herd moves as one, each elephant attuned to the rhythm of the others. The younger elephants, though smaller, move in synchrony with the larger adults, their heads slightly lowered, their steps careful. The matriarch's leadership is unspoken, but it is felt by every member of the herd. She does not need to command. Her presence alone is enough. The young ones follow her without question, trusting in her strength, in her wisdom. The calf stumbles slightly, but it does not fall. It keeps its eyes fixed on the matriarch, following her with unwavering focus. The others, too, keep their eyes on the calf, their movements coordinated, as if to shield it from any harm. They move as a unit, the older elephants protecting the younger ones, guiding them through the road that once seemed so vast and daunting. The road is no longer an obstacle but a path they must all cross together. Yusuf and his team watch from a distance, their breaths held as the herd moves closer. There is a quiet tension in the air, the kind that settles when something precious is at stake. They know that the moment the herd crosses, the calf's fate will be sealed. It is no longer a question of survival. It is a question of belonging. The calf must be accepted back into the fold of the herd, or it will remain alone. And alone, it would not survive. The matriarch's gentle nudges continue, each one a silent encouragement for the calf to keep moving, to stay close. The herd's movements are fluid, almost choreographed as they navigate the road. The calf, though still small and fragile, is learning. It is learning the rhythm of the herd, learning that it is not alone, that it has a place in this vast world. Each step it takes is a step toward safety, toward the comfort of the familiar, toward the bond that ties them all together. The rangers remain still, careful not to interfere, careful not to disrupt the quiet trust between the herd and the calf. The moment is delicate, a slow unfolding of nature's rhythm. The calf's movements become more confident with each step. It is no longer wobbling, but walking with purpose, each footfall firm and sure. It has found its place within the herd, and the herd has accepted it. The road, once a barrier, is now a shared experience. The calf has crossed, not alone, but with the care and protection of the family it was born into. As the last of the elephants cross the road, the herd slows, taking a moment to pause. The matriarch looks back, her eyes scanning the road as if ensuring that no one has been left behind. She is satisfied. The calf is safe. The herd, now fully across, moves deeper into the park, their presence a quiet testament to the strength of their bond. The matriarch turns her attention back to the front, leading them forward with unwavering confidence. The rangers take a slow, steady breath. The tension that had been building, that had hung over the scene like a quiet storm, dissipates. The herd is whole again. The calf, once weak and uncertain, now walks with the others, its body more confident, its steps more sure. The bond that held them all together, that held the calf in place, is something that cannot be broken by distance or danger. It is a bond forged in trust, in patience, in the quiet care that flows between the matriarch and the young. As the herd disappeared into the distance, the sound of their movement fades into the soft rustling of the trees. The rangers, still watching from their position, stand quietly, their hearts full. They know that the calf is no longer a stranger to the herd. It is part of them, as it always was, as it always will be. And as they turn to leave, the last thing they hear is the soft, steady rhythm of the herd moving forward. A bowl of family, of trust, of survival. The herd moves forward with steady determination, the matriarch guiding them, her presence unyielding. The calf, now fully upright, walks cautiously beside her, its small frame no longer trembling as it was just hours ago. The road behind them stretches out, a clear path ahead, but the distance feels immense, as if the journey is only just beginning. The last few steps feel like a culmination, but also a beginning. The calf, still learning, follows the rhythm of the herd, its pace steady, though its small legs continue to strain under the weight of each step. The matriarch continues to keep the calf close, her trunk occasionally brushing against its side, offering gentle nudges that keep it within the safety of the group. The rest of the herd follow quietly, the younger elephants walking in line behind the adults, their movements synchronized and fluid. There is no hurry, no rush. Each elephant takes the time it needs, aware of the precious life that now walks among them, no longer an outsider, but part of the family, part of the rhythm of the herd. Yusuf and his team remain in the same position, still and silent, their eyes never leaving the herd. The tension that had once filled the air now seems to dissipate with each passing moment. The calf is walking, the distance between it and the road behind growing with each step. The risk is not gone, but it has shifted. There is still a chance that something could go wrong, that the calf could falter once more. But the herd's presence, its collective care, seems to have a calming effect, not just on the calf but on everyone watching. The road that had once seemed so vast and open now feels smaller, the horizon closer. The matriarch leads them with quiet assurance, her eyes constantly scanning the environment, ensuring the safety of the herd as they move forward. The calf walks more confidently now, its legs less wobbly with each step, its gaze more focused. It is not yet fully part of the herd, but it is close, closer than it has been all day. The herd has surrounded it with care and protection, giving it the strength it needed to continue. Yusuf watches as the matriarch glances back one last time, ensuring the calf is still moving steadily. There is a subtle nod in her actions, a confirmation that she is satisfied. The herd continues to move, the matriarch taking the lead, with the calf now walking alongside her, almost in step with the others. They are nearly across the road now, the end of their journey within reach. The last few meters seem to stretch out, though the calf's movements are more purposeful. It is no longer struggling, no longer faltering. The matriarch, aware of the calf's progress, continues to move with gentle but unwavering determination. She looks ahead, never once glancing back, as though fully trusting that the calf will follow. And it does. As the last of the elephants crosses, the herd pauses for a brief moment on the other side. They have made it. The calf, now fully across, stands at the edge of the road, its body still but its eyes alert, searching the area around it. The matriarch is the first to turn, her head slightly tilted, watching the calf carefully. There is no urgency in her gaze, only a quiet acknowledgement that the calf has taken the final step, a step it could not have made alone. Yusuf exhales slowly, the quiet relief washing over him as he watches the herd continue to move deeper into the park. The danger has passed, but the journey is far from over. The calf is not yet fully integrated into the herd, but it is no longer outside of it. It has crossed, both physically and symbolically. The road that once separated them is no longer a divide but a memory. The herd moves forward, the calf now walking confidently beside the matriarch. The dust settles behind them, the road behind fading into the distance. The herd, now reunited and whole, continues to walk as one, moving deeper into the park, where the trees are dense and the wild stretches out before them. The last steps are taken, the last glance exchanged, and as the herd moves into the trees, the quiet sound of their passage fills the air, leaving behind the faintest whisper of movement. The calf is no longer a stranger to the herd. It is part of them now, part of the rhythm that carries them forward. The distance they've traveled is no longer measured in miles, but in the quiet bond that is formed between them. The park, once a place of uncertainty, now feels like home. The road, a mere line on the earth, is no longer a barrier. It is a path taken together, with care, with patience, and with trust. The herd disappears into the distance, the last sign of their presence a soft sound carried on the wind. The herd moves deeper into the park, the sound of their footsteps soft in the cool morning air. The matriarch leads them with calm assurance, her trunk occasionally brushing against the calf's side, guiding it forward. The young elephant, once fragile and unsure, now walks with more confidence, its movement steady as it follows the others. The rest of the herd move around them, their presence a constant reminder of the safety and unity that only the herd can provide. The trees ahead grow denser, their shadows stretching out to welcome the elephants into the embrace of the forest. The ground beneath their feet changes, softer now, the dirt giving way to the cool earth of the wooded area. There is a quiet rhythm to their movements, each elephant in tune with the others, their steps synchronized in a way that only years of shared experiences can create. But as they continue, the calf pauses for just a moment, its head turned back toward the open road they've just crossed. It looks over its shoulder, its dark eyes scanning the path behind, as if seeking some final reassurance. The road that had once been a barrier now seems distant, a memory fading into the background of its short life. The calf lingers for a few seconds more, its gaze soft but purposeful, the faintest hint of hesitation in the air. It is not fear that holds it back, but something deeper, a moment of quiet reflection, perhaps. The matriarch, sensing the pause, slows her pace and turns her head, her gaze soft yet commanding. She doesn't rush the calf, but instead waits. The calf's body relaxes slightly, and with a final glance back, it steps forward, following the matriarch and the rest of the herd into the shelter of the trees. Its steps are now more confident, its small form fully integrated into the flow of the herd. The moment of hesitation is over, replaced by the quiet understanding that the journey continues, not just for the calf, but for all of them. As the last of the herd passed to the trees, the sound of their movement faded. The calm of the forest seems to settle over them, as though welcoming the herd back into its fold. The matriarch, with the calf now walking at her side, leads them into the deeper shadows of the woods, where the undergrowth thickens and the path is less clear. But the herd moves together, a solid mass, each elephant trusting the others to guide them through the unfamiliar terrain. Yusuf watches from a distance, his breath steady as the herd disappears into the forest. The silence that follows is profound, filled with a quiet weight. The moment is not marked by drama, nor by grand gestures, but by something far simpler, the trust that has been built between the calf and the herd. The road that once felt like a vast divide is now behind them, and the future stretches ahead, unknown but full of promise. The calf is no longer the fragile figure that once trembled in the dust, but a young elephant walking with its family, moving toward the safety of the trees, where it will grow, learn, and become part of the rhythm of the herd. And as the last elephant vanishes into the trees, the faint sound of leaves rustling in the wind is all that remains. the only trace of the herd's passage. The moment is gone, but the quiet bond remains, woven into the fabric of the park, a silent promise that the calf will never be alone again. The sun begins to dip lower, casting soft light over the landscape. The park is still, the distant sound of the herd now only a memory in the wind. The rangers turn slowly, carrying the memory of the journey with them, the quiet resolution of the moment settling deep within them. They have witnessed something rare, not just the survival of a calf, but the quiet strength of a family that has kept its bond intact, even in the face of uncertainty. The day moves on, but the silence left behind is heavy with meaning, a soft and lasting farewell. The days pass quietly in the park. The herd, now deep within the dense brush, remains out of sight, their movements a soft echo in the vastness of Tsavo National Park. The rangers continue their work, their eyes scanning the horizon, but there is a calmness to their pace now, a steadiness that wasn't there before. The storm that had loomed over them, the uncertainty, the fear, has passed, leaving behind a quiet sense of peace. But the memory of the calf, of the herd's crossing, stays with them, a quiet pulse in the background of their thoughts. Yusuf walks slowly through the park, his gaze often drifting toward the areas where the herd last crossed. It feels different now. The road that had once seemed so vast, so impassable, now feels like something small, something surmountable. It is not just the land that has shifted, but something deeper, a change in the rhythm of the park itself. The calf is no longer a fragile, uncertain figure, but part of the quiet hum that runs through the herd, part of the natural flow of life here. The other elephants in the herd remain hidden, as they do after a crossing. They do not venture far from the safety of the trees, preferring the quiet of the forest to the openness of the plains. The matriarch, ever watchful, has led them to a more secluded part of the park, where the underbrush is thick and the sounds of the world seem distant. The herd are no longer just surviving but thriving, settling into their new rhythm. For the rangers, the crossing is a memory that lingers, not in the form of images or sounds, but in the quiet shift of their hearts. It was not a victory, nor a rescue. It was something simpler, a moment of trust, a moment when the bond between the calf and the herd was restored. It was the way the matriarch guided the calf through the road, the way the herd waited, and the way they moved together as one. There are no grand gestures here, no extraordinary actions. But in the stillness of the park, the quiet reverence that follows such a moment feels like a small, unspoken miracle. Yusuf pauses as he reaches a clearing, his eyes following the distant movement of a group of elephants. The herd airy out of sight, but their presence is felt. There is no need to chase after them, no need to rush. The trust they have in the land, in each other, is enough. They do not need to be found. They will find their way, as they always do. In the days that follow, the park settles back into its usual rhythm. The rangers observe the animals, keeping their distance, ensuring that the natural flow of life continues undisturbed. The calf, though still young, is no longer the fragile creature it once was. It moves with more confidence now, following the herd, learning the ways of its family. There is still so much it must learn, but now it has the time and the space to grow. The world feels vast, but not frightening. The storm has passed, and the calm that follows is not empty but full of promise. As the sun sets over the park, casting long shadows over the land, Yusuf stands at the edge of the clearing, the quiet sounds of the park filling the air. The herd, though hidden, is not forgotten. Their journey, their crossing remains in the hearts of those who witnessed it. It is a memory that will stay, a quiet reminder of the bond that ties them all together, the animals, the land, and those who watch over them. The wind stirs the grass, a soft, gentle reminder that the park continues to breathe, continues to move forward. The herd, somewhere in the trees, is safe, and in the silence of the evening, as the last light of day fades, there's a sense of peace, a quiet knowing that no matter what the future holds, they will continue to move forward, together. As the days pass, Tsavo National Park settles back into its quiet rhythm. The sounds of the wind through the trees, the rustling of grass beneath the elephant's heavy feet, and the distant calls of birds create a familiar, peaceful backdrop. The herd, now fully integrated back into the wild, moves deeper into the park, their presence marked only by the soft footprints they leave in the dirt. The matriarch leads them, the calf following closely behind, walking with the steady assurance of its family, its once uncertain steps now full of purpose. The rangers who had watched over them in those delicate moments now carry on with their tasks. Yusuf, along with his team, continues their patrols, observing the landscape with the same attentiveness they always have. Yet something has shifted. There is a quiet understanding between the humans and the animals, something unspoken that lingers in the air. The herd has passed through a moment of danger, a moment of vulnerability, and they emerged stronger for it. The rangers, too, have witnessed something rare, a bond forged not through action, but through trust. The park, once again, feels expansive and untouched. The herd is no longer a group at risk, but a living, breathing part of the landscape, moving as it always has. Yet, the memory of their crossing, of the calf's uncertain journey and the matriarch's quiet leadership, stays with the rangers. It lingers in their movements, in the way they watch the horizon, always alert, always respectful of the wild rhythms that pulse through the park. Yusuf pauses for a moment as he watches a distant herd of elephants moving along the edge of the trees. They seem at peace, their movements slow and deliberate, unhurried. The calf, no longer the vulnerable creature it once was, now moves confidently within the fold of its family. Its once tentative steps are now steady. Its body is no longer shaking with uncertainty, but walking with the grace of one who has found its place in the world. There is no rush. The herd moves as it always has, a quiet procession through the park, living as they were meant to. The sun begins to dip lower in the sky, casting a soft golden light over the park. The day is nearing its end, but there is no hurry. The animals are not rushing. The air is not filled with urgency. The park moves at its own pace, and the rangers, though ever watchful, feel a deep sense of calm in the quiet rhythm that surrounds them. The herd is safe, and the world continues on, as it always has, in a delicate balance that is felt in every breath of wind, in every step of the animals that roam freely within the park's borders. The bond between the herd and the rangers is not something that can be seen, but it is felt deeply. It is in the careful steps the rangers take as they patrol the park, in the way they speak in hushed tones when they discuss the herd's movements, and in the shared understanding that comes with living in harmony with the wild. The bond is not one of ownership, but of guardianship. They are there not to control, but to ensure that the rhythm of life continues, uninterrupted. As the last light of the day fades, the herd are no longer visible, their figures now silhouettes against the darkening sky. The wind stirs the grass, the soft rustling filling the air as the park settles into its nighttime stillness. The rangers make their way back, the day's work done, but the quiet connection remains. The herd, now part of the park's enduring cycle, will continue its journey, and the rangers, though they will never fully know what the future holds, carry with them the knowledge that they have shared a moment with these creatures, a moment of trust, of quiet care. The last traces of daylight fade, leaving only the distant sounds of the park and the soft, steady pulse of life that continues quietly, persistently. The bond between the herd and the rangers lingers in the stillness, a silent, lasting presence that will remain long after the day has ended,